I spent years living all the way in the box, afraid to step out, afraid to truly grab hold of my dream. And now I am breaking through, and I invite you to join me.
Your breakthrough starts now. Coming up on today's show, get ready to be inspired and transformed with our featured guests. Find out what's trending and get advice on life's daily challenges with Erica's top tips of the day. All of this and so much more coming up. So stay tuned. This is your one-stop shop for inspiration. The Erica Latrice Show. And now, here's your host, Erica.
Hello and welcome to the Erica Latrice Show. This is your one-stop shop for inspiration. And our message for you today, if you have ever been sitting on the fence, if you've been waiting to step out, if you've been waiting to take the leap, wait no more, because my special guest in the Be Inspired Cafe, I feel like have this on lock. Kyla, who is the queen of faithing forward, is going to help you step out of your comfort zone through sharing her story and giving you actionable tips that you can take. If that wasn't enough, we have Valley in the Be Inspired Cafe today, and she is yet another trailblazer that's going to help get you into that position to start taking leaps and taking the world by storm. That's the best way that I can put it. So if you want to be a part of today's giveaway, all you got to do is comment. Drop your comments today in the comment section if you're watching this live, and you could win today's giveaway. My question to you to make this easier for you is, what does it mean to step out in faith? What does it mean for you to step out in faith? And when I come back, I'm going to share with you 3 action steps that you can take today to move beyond fear, to move beyond procrastination, hesitation, and anything that's standing in the way of your goals. So do not go anywhere. And I just want to send out a special thank you to Dr. Sharita Witherspoon. She is a founder of the Love Letters to My Girls movement, and they are sponsoring today's show. So take a look at her message if you're looking for something to encourage you, to help with healing, overcoming. This book is one that you want to pre-order right now. So take a look at this. When we come back, we are jumping straight into our top tips of the day, our Be Inspired Cafe, and so much more. So don't go anywhere. Birthed out of an idea for her own daughter, Dr. Sharita's vision has now turned into a movement. This wasn't just for her daughter. It was for other sisters and daughters around the world. The Love Letters to My Girls anthology is a book by Black women and girls, a collaboration of more than 100 women coming together to write letters to inspire, uplift, motivate, and empower the sisterhood. These stories bring you lessons and healing for those worn by their experiences as a Black woman in this world. Get your copy at loveletterstomygirls.com.
Get ready for all new episodes of the Erica Latrice Show. You can join me weekdays at 2 o'clock Eastern across social media at Erica Empowers. That's Erica spelled like America. If you have a message that you want to share on the show, email us right now at info@ericalatrice.com or visit online at ericalatrice.com/be on the show.
All right, welcome back. So I'm talking about how to step out, how to get out of your comfort zone and start seeing things take place. So I want to jump right in. Number one, I want you to ask yourself this question: what's stopping you? And your answer to that question, I promise you, can be life-changing, life-shifting. Because a lot of times the reason that we don't step out is because, whether it's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, we have these blocks going on, and it's the only thing standing between you and seeing your goals take place. So think about that thing that you just shared. What would it mean for you to step out, take a leap of faith? What would it mean for you to move beyond your fear and procrastination and everything in between? What would that mean for you? Now ask yourself this question: what's stopping you from seeing that take place? Your answer to that question is. So my next question that I would encourage or something, find 5 minutes today and actually go through these questions. Fun. I hope it energizes you, because all you have to do next is figure out when can you do it. And you all hear me say this all the time. The short more it increases the likelihood that wondering how to be the best thing that you could do right now is simply share this with a friend. Join the live conversation so that you can enter to win today's giveaway. So I'm going to jump straight into the Be Inspired Cafe. And this is the queen of faith and stepping out and doing those things that you know you need to do even when you don't feel like it. So welcome with me into the Be Inspired Cafe powerhouse. Kyla, how are you doing today?
Hi, Erica. I'm doing great today. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I'm excited to have you. About yourself, and even when you talk about like faith forward and what you do now, how did you get to this place?
Absolutely. Well, let's start a little bit at the beginning. I am the 7 children, and I think that in and of itself is a testament. I was told actually at a young age that I couldn't have children, and so that in and of itself is miraculous. So my journey, I had got married early, had most of my children while I was in school full time in college, and got 3 degrees in psychology and marketing, and stepped out forward, thought I was going to open my own marriage family therapy practice. And that journey seemed to get a little bit thwarted. I had all these plans, and it basically changed while I was just about to go into the next level in the next season of those plans, when I had a friend come over and she was really frustrated and she was talking about plus size modeling. And I ended up having a vision by the end of her visit, and I launched my own plus size modeling and management company. And little did I know that that launching of that company would also propel me into a new season of my own life and transformation to where I needed it. I can say that prior to that, because I was such a mom and involved in all of the things that were required to do, I didn't pay too much attention to what I liked, to what I needed. And so that season of my life cultivated a new confidence, a new self esteem for myself, a new revelation as to where my gifting were and what my passion is. And so from there, it kind of all unfolded. I ended up in the entertainment industry and ended up on a movie set with some well known people that I thought I was going to work with, and it ended up all not being part of God's plan, because that's really what it is. When we take a step forward, it's a lot of times by faith. You have to understand that. And I understand that everybody might not believe, the way I believe, but at the same time, every single day we have to faith forward and believe in something. That's the substance of our hope. So whether it's yourself, whether it is even believing in other people and what they're saying, that they can do for you, how they so for me, it's the Lord. And in so being, I transitioned out of plus size modeling management, and I got involved in what all that was going to entail. But it happened through a counseling session, so I got to use my degree, and I ended up signing my children up for some background work. And I
Pause you because there's a few things
okay.
that you have done that I think it's so interesting. It doesn't necessarily match every single thing to the T of what they're trained in or what they went to school for. What advice would you give to someone to start stepping out in that area that they're called to, opposed to just what they're trained in?
First of all, it's perspective. I think a lot of times we focus on having the I's dotted and the T's crossed. And life is just not that type of journey, as we're all learning now, even in the situation with pandemic and everything going on all around us. Life is not that journey where you can always plan according to what you know. And so, what I've learned, especially for having a big family, is that number one, perspective. It's not always about you. It requires a real selflessness to look at the context of your life and see what you've been gifted in and where you're positioned, because they tend to go hand in hand. A lot of times we find ourselves at crossroads of opportunity and being presented in front of us, or even things that we think about. And in that respect, those are times when we need to pay attention and not think about what we need, how it needs to all fit together. Um, you really need to focus on the perspective and allowing that to be shifted, coming off of plans, and seize the opportunity. Because of what I found for myself is that once you take that first step, everything else begins to line up, and learning that it doesn't have to line up the way that you planned or could think about it. It makes it better. It makes it that much fruitful. Why? Because you can only control so much in life. I mean, that's really the reality of it. um so let's start there.
Yes, I'm like, listen, these are some good nuggets because a lot of times we're waiting for step 10, we're waiting for step 15 before we take step one. And so if you had to say, what's that core thing whenever it comes to just taking a bold leap, and you talk about even those things that will come unexpectedly to help you even further take those leaps, what advice would you give us, for one, about expecting miracles, and two, just making that immediate obedient leap into your passion?
Miracles always happen. They have not ceased. I am telling you, just a little tidbit for me, because when you have a miracle happen, whether it is something emotionally healed, from scars that you obtained in your youth, or you meet that special someone that you never thought that you deserved or that you would ever meet, or you have someone just extend to you a position that changes the condition of your current lifestyle. All of those are miracles. Miracles are things that operate outside the norm. Um, for my personal story, I told you I was told that I couldn't have children, and literally I had a miraculous healing take place that allowed me to have children. But it didn't stop there, and that's what a miracle does. It's always for beyond the moment, and it's always for more than just you. And when you have that perspective about it, it maximizes the potential of whatever you receive. That's what I can tell you. Every time anything in your life seems like the most challenging, the most obstructive, the most destructive, it's meant to get your perspective off focus. It's almost like it's a ploy. Like my acronym, and that's a lot opposite from faith, because faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. So how we balance all this, we don't. We want our faith to always supersede those things that we don't have confidence in, those areas where we may be fearful, we may be timid. Is enough to make it happen. You do not have to have all your ducks in the row. You do not have to have even the education. I used to tell my models all the time, forget about the training, forget about, all those things they tell you that you need. That's not what this is about. The industry is all about quick moment. They're looking to take any position. You can
Yes,
change your condition. That is the truth.
that amen. So speaking of changing your position, for those that want to get connected with you, that want to support what you're doing, what's the best way that we can find you online?
Well, right now I'm actually the CEO of the Cupcake Club Inc. I have become a food chemist. And if you want to find more about how exactly that unfolded, my website address is www.thecupcakeclub.biz. And then I have a Facebook page, a social media page where you can connect. That also is the Cupcake Club Biz. But if you go on a little bit further on my page, I have something called Conversations, Melodies, and Results. And that is a closed group where I am more than happy to get one-on-one with you, wherever you're at with your journey, wherever you're at in your story. I have so much to offer, so much to give, so much faith to share. I'd be more than happy to come alongside of you, wherever you're at in that journey. So that's how you can find me.
I love it. So Kyla is not going anywhere. She's going to be back for our final thoughts. Coming up next, we have Valley, who I can see Valley's backstage ready to bring some wisdom nuggets to you as well. Do not go anywhere. We're going to take a short break. And I want you to answer this question. What does it mean to you to step out in faith? What does it mean to you to take a bold leap? Just answer that in the comments and you'll qualify for today's giveaway. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Get your copy of my all-new book, Fitted.
Welcome back. It is time for our special guest, Valley, in the Be Inspired Cafe. She is pretty much the epitome of everything that we're talking about today. Stepping out, entrepreneurship, boldness, being a visionary, and everything in between. So welcome with me to the Be Inspired Cafe today, Valley. How are you doing?
To be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to have you because I feel like it always picks up where we just left off. And we've been talking about taking bold action and bold moves. So can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do now that has led you to this?
Sure, absolutely. So yes, it's true. My name is Valley, right? It's a little different, like hills and mountains and valleys. Yep. It's such a unique name and it's a family name. A fun fact about me, it's a family name. I'm actually Valley the Fourth, right? So my mother, grandmother, great grandmother all have the first name of Valley, and so does my oldest daughter. So proud family tradition, love passing that on. And most importantly, I love it because it's different, right? And so I am a proud female entrepreneur. I did start my own business this year, 12 days before a global pandemic. Great timing, right? But that's okay. And it's been an amazing year so far. And the name of my business is just like my name. It's a little different, right? And so the name of my business, I decided to call Edivel Solutions. Again, kind of unique. You look at it and you think, how do you pronounce that? It's a little different. Well, Edivel is actually elevate spelled backwards. So I wanted that to be the case because my tagline, which was actually before the pandemic, is if you look at things a little differently, we have the solutions to elevate your revenue, enhance your fundraising, expand your mission, and more. So what Edivel Solutions does and what I do, and I love this so much, is I love giving back. I love working with nonprofit organizations around the country and actually now around the world and helping them elevate their fundraising, elevate their revenue, increasing their mission, expanding their reach, and just basically helping one step at a time to make the world a better place. And by helping nonprofit organizations do that, I feel like that's my way of giving back. So I love that about Edivel. I love that I'm able to give back. And yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, we've all had to kind of pivot a little bit this year, right? We've had a little bit of a challenging year, and I love your top tips. And I'd love to kind of share, if you'd like, a little bit about those top tips, because I truly have faced those same questions, and I asked myself those same questions about what's stopping you and what could I do, all of that, as I was deciding to make this leap and to becoming a female entrepreneur. And these are things that I've had to really contemplate myself. And oh, another fun fact about me too, I'll share. One of the things I did to become a better female entrepreneur was I wanted to offer the services to help nonprofits. And so this always makes everyone laugh a little bit, but I went to school and I became a licensed auctioneer. And so I'm a female auctioneer, which is pretty rare in the US, but I'm a proud female auctioneer. And again, it's a way that I can help nonprofit organizations really elevate their fundraising and help them raise money so they can continue to give back. So
Yes. So I have a question about that too. We're gonna maybe use that skill when we do our giveaway today. So
cool.
yes, I would love for you to talk a bit about that as you break down the 3 tips that I shared today too. How did it feel being in a place where, to your point, we're in a pandemic? You're taking a launch in the middle of what many have labeled as chaos or a crisis, a global crisis. Tell us like your mindset in getting launched and that place. And then yes, I would love for you to break down those 3 tips as well.
It was a little scary. It's been scary for all of us. I mean, the uncertainty and the challenges that we've all faced this year are just extraordinary. And, literally leaving a career that have been in for over a decade and literally stepping off that platform, making that plunge of becoming a female entrepreneur, building this business since last year and dreaming of it for years. And then literally launching on March 1st to having a global pandemic and true economic shutdown by March 15th was certainly challenging. It was very scary. And, I think we've all used the word this year, and I kind of call it the word of the year, is pivot, right? We've all had to pivot. We've all had to kind of change directions, change our mindset, the way we're looking at things. And, like I said, I think this year more than ever, we really have to look at things a little bit differently. And I had an opportunity in April, and I'd never in my life, unlike I see you as well, like I never dreamt of being an author, but I decided to change my mindset, take a different approach. And I decided to join a group of incredible women from around the globe. And we wrote our own anthology, Yes, I Can. That was collaborating, coming together as women from around the world. I have new friends now in Australia, Singapore, London, England, UK, Ireland, Bahamas. Like I have so many incredible friends. And the one thing I really focus on in my chapter was your strengths, right? And so when you look at those questions that you asked, what's stopping you? I'll share with you with what stopped me was my mindset and my inability to recognize my inner strengths, what I'm good at, what I know are the things that I can give to others, that I can give to my business, that I give to my family, my friends. And in 2017, I had the opportunity to learn about this assessment called Clifton Strengths. And it's an assessment that I took, and it really defined my top 5, my top 10 strengths, and what I was good at and what I could leverage and how I could leverage that in my personal career, my life, all the way around. And quite honestly, Erica, before I took that strength assessment, I really thought like my whole life, I was a failure. I didn't have great self-confidence. I was afraid to step off, and so many things were stopping me. And by taking this assessment and really learning and knowing what my true strengths are, what are my intrinsic characteristics that make me me, I was able to say, okay, well, what can I do now? What can I do to reach those dreams? And that's when I changed that mindset, and I really believed in who I was, and I applied those strengths to my world, to my life and my business. And then, when did I do it? I did it right before a global pandemic, but that's okay. It's totally working out. The book has been an amazing, incredible journey. I'm actually got to pitch my first proposal to a nonprofit organization in Africa last week. So I'm super excited about that. And, I think it's just, if you truly know your strengths, it truly can be your superpower. And that's what I talk about in the book.
I love it. And I'm team superpower, because I feel like when we know what our gift is, when we know what God has placed inside of us, then we'll get out of things like comparison. We'll get out of things like feeling inadequate, and we'll start walking in boldness in many different areas, like Kyla shared today too, like having a different background and then being able to step out. So before we get to your auctioneering, we're going to do that for our final thought. Can you share with us, how can we support what you're doing, get our hands even on that book, and connect with you across social media?
Absolutely. So again, remember Edivel, Elevate spelled backwards, and that's my website, www.edivelsolutions.com. My email is my name, Valley@EdivelSolutions. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Please reach out. I'm asking people to purchase the book. The link will be included. And I'm asking everyone to be a part of my strength success team, right? So read the chapter, share with me your strengths, share with me what you're good at. And like, let's build a strength success team together. Let's lift each other up. One of my most favorite quotes of all time is the rising tide raises all the boats, right? The tide rises, the boats all rise together. Let's rise together. Let's succeed together. Let's share and focus on knowing and understanding our strengths. So excited.
Amen. Yes. Amen to that. So speaking of, if you want to join the conversation, that's a great place to start. Share your strengths. Tag Valley to your tag right now, to your comment. And we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're wrapping up with our final thoughts. I'm bringing Kyla back. Don't go anywhere. Share those strengths, tongue twister, and I'll be sharing it here on the show. We'll be right back. For you to soar, if you're ready to step out, I'm telling you, you can transform your life in 21 days by taking the 21-day Focus Fast, and you can get that at thefocusfast.com. Welcome back. It is time for our final thoughts of the day, and I have these two powerhouse women with me. And I feel like so much of what we share, it's like each person is kind of having similarities in their story. So let's start with you, Kyla. What's that one takeaway that you would hope the audience would get from today's show?
I think in totality, life is about decisions, and you have sometimes a split second to make a decision, a choice about your life that will direct your path and change your trajectory. And I want to just encourage you to not be fearful. Remember, that's false evidence appearing real, and move forward in faith. Take what you got. Know that every single step that you have taken in your life prepares you for the very moment that you find yourself in. It is inside of you. I guarantee you, as you take that step forward, it'll begin to unfold and unlock gifts, opportunities, talents, strengths, and even relationships with others that you never could imagine. That's my takeaway. Make that decision, make that choice. It's up to you. It really is, but you have the strength to do that.
That's the mic drop moment. Mic drop. I was looking for my prop. I usually try to have a mic prop. Yes, Valerie, what's that one takeaway that you would hope the audience would get from today's show?
Same. I mean, just Kyla, you could have said it better. I mean, just strengths. Know your strengths. Believe in yourself. Don't let anything stop you. Just like those tips that you said, Erica. Don't let anything stop you. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you are. Know you. Know what you're good at. Find your strengths. They truly are your internal superpower. Share them. Share them with everyone, and build a team around you who lift you up, who support you, who recognize your strengths, you recognize theirs, and then just soar together.
Yes, I feel like we look like a superhero team right here. Like, just looking.
I agree.
We are.
I don't know what group we're a part of, but it's something strong. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for being in the Be Inspired Cafe today, Kyla. Thank you, Valerie.
You're welcome.
Yes, and I would encourage you, if you're watching right now, go ahead and leave a comment, because right now, this is our winner for today's giveaway. Oh, and that's what I was going to say. Can you share just a little snippet of some auctioneering? We just want to.
Oh, gosh, everyone always asks that. And it's so funny because with benefit and fundraising auctioneer, you don't want to talk fast because you want your audience to hear you. But in general, it's just like, hey, I'm going to 20, give me 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Do I hear 60, 65, 70, 70, 80, 95, 100 sold there, number $100.
Yeah. Sold to you. So if your name is being displayed right now, all you got to do is email me at info@ericalatrice.com. You are today's winner. Again, thank you, ladies, for being on the show today. So much fun. I don't want this to end, but it has to. So thank you again. And if you're watching right now, you can stay connected with me across social media at Erica Empowers. And as I'm always telling you, not yesterday, not last week, not 10 years from now, go out and make today amazing, because it is absolutely a choice. Thank you so much for watching.
For more inspiration, visit us on